And this is sort of what I guess annoys me about some of the libertarians who love mandates. And these libertarians are now writing about how great mandates are. And it's like, well, it's one thing to say an employer has the right to do a mandate. It's another to say it's like a good thing. And it's
Yeah.
like what libertarian in their right mind wants to work for an employer that gets involved with your health care and asks you what kind of medicines you take and whether you've had shots? I mean, that sounds like about the most unlibertarian workplace you could ever imagine. So it really appalls me to see these writers who are like, oh, yes, they absolutely have the right. Well, a private business may have the right to do things that are abhorrent, and I find it frankly abhorrent. And it's all directed from Dr. Fauci. It isn't sort of this dispersion like, oh, well, there's a lot of voices we've heard. They're listening to one side that's completely ignoring all the science on naturally acquired immunity. And it's frankly insulting. Think of the doctors and nurses that worked for a year risking their lives to take care of people who had COVID, and then to be told, well, you're going to be cast off as yesterday's trash because we don't care whether you had it or not. You just have to submit to what Dr. Fauci thinks you should do. And so I don't know. I think libertarians need to grow a spine, and we need to have I just don't understand how you can call yourself a libertarian and be prancing all over being for mandates.
Yeah. Well, I don't think those two things go together at all. Like, I don't, the kind of libertarianism I subscribe to is against government mandates, even if it's sort of a de facto Fauci mandate, because imagine the pressure that these corporations are under when Fauci says this is the right thing to do. There's liability issues, there's public pressure issues, and and maybe some of these corporations actually want the government to tell them what to do so they don't have to decide at all.
Well, and the thing is once you sort of accept the idea of employer mandates, how many people are tangentially associated with the federal government? So, for example, as a physician, I take Medicare payments. Do I work for the government? Unfortunately, maybe half the time I was sort of working for the government, but I don't.
Yeah.
But am I a contractor? The hospitals now are all sort of considered to be extensions of the government. What facet of our life isn't connected to the government somehow? If they wanted to sort of extend these mandates in every sort of tangent to get as many people as they wanted, the whole country is going to be under a mandate. And so I want people to fight back. I want the businesses to fight back. I want the hospitals, the doctors, the nurses to fight back. I want there to be somebody out there who actually believes in the spirit of America, which is leave me the heck alone, who says, I want to have a business or I want to have a hospital. We're not going to be East Germany. The Stasi's not going to show up at your door and want your papers. I don't know. This stuff infuriates me. And it's even if it isn't sort of directly dictated as policy by Fauci, he's spreading this terrible science or this terrible lack of scientific skepticism or even debate that really is antithetical. I've seen people tweeting this out. If you say the science, if there's a consensus in science, you're not a scientist and know nothing about science.
Right. Well, he's already established that he is the science, and anyone that criticizes him is attacking science itself.